I have no idea why we are torturing ourselves like this. This is a great idea though, because I'm game to watch just about anything.
Yeah,
You know,
me as
almost
well.
to a fault, like where it would be a problem. So I have to do
Yeah.
better with that.
I think mine is just like not knowing it's gonna be bad because like I love Sharknado, but I love those movies. But I know it's Sharknado. Like I
Right,
expect
and
it
if
to.
if a movie knows the kind of movie it is, that's fine. But it's when you get sucked in and you're tricked, that's when you find yourself asking, "Why did I watch that?" And if you've seen a movie and you've watched this movie and you're asking yourself, "Why did I watch that?" It's too late. It's already
Yes.
done. The damage is done. And I have a problem if there have been very, very, very few movies that I've actually walked out on,
Yeah.
or I stopped. If I get through like the first 20 minutes, then we in for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to make me cut this bad boy off right at the start. Because if I'm halfway through, I got to know how this piece of garbage ends. I have to do it.
Yeah.
So
I think that's where the real pain come in because I know I'm not gonna leave. I'm just gonna
right,
stay.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
suffer.
gonna watch it. I have to endure, and I'm mad the whole time.
So I am Sam. This is Denisha, and we are bringing a whole new idea that we discussed. It is something that we're going to suffer through for your benefit and hopefully your enjoyment. So let me ask right now, please click the like button. Please click the subscribe button. Make this worth our while as we suffer through why did I watch that? We are going to do reviews of horrible movies. Some movies are going to be bad just because they're bad. Other movies are going to be bad and maybe they're not as bad as we thought. But based on Denisha's picks, I think all of them are going to just be bad. That should be. I don't think. But we did agree we would try to find one redeeming quality in all of the movies, and
Yes.
we will look for that. Now, if it's not there, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not just gonna create something good to say it's there. If there's nothing
Well, yeah.
redeeming, then there's nothing redeeming. But hopefully, we can find something in every movie that's a positive or something that we can say made it worth the watch. Today, we are going to be reviewing All About Steve. Yeah, yeah. I don't even know how to. Okay, so
Oh,
Sandra Bullock was in this movie called like we just here's a very
yeah.
very simple recap. Sandra Bullock is in this movie called All About Steve. Other people that you know are in this movie. And basically, she is convinced that this cameraman, who is played by Bradley Cooper, is her true love. And she chases him across the country trying to win his love, I guess is the only way to describe it. Um, they were wrong. They were wrong. Um, there are, let's see, Sandra Bullock, Bradley Cooper, Thomas Hayden Church. Who else do we have in it? We're going to be reviewing All About Steve. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't even know how to. Okay, so
Oh,
Sandra Bullock was in this movie called, like, we just here's a very,
yeah.
very simple recap. Sandra Bullock is in this movie called All About Steve. Other people that you know are in this movie. And basically, she is convinced that this cameraman, who is played by Bradley Cooper, is her true love. And she chases him across the country trying to win his love, I guess is the only way to describe it. Um, they were wrong. They were wrong. Um, there are, let's see, Sandra Bullock, Bradley Cooper, Thomas Hayden Church. Who else do we have in it? Kim Jong, he was in it.
Kim and John, yeah.
DJ Qualls, just out of nowhere, is in this movie. And Linnell, surprisingly, is in this
Linnell
movie.
is in the, yep, yep.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, that was pretty much it. Um, this movie is really bad. Everything about the premise. This is not the kind of movie you could make today, for starters.
no,
And
absolutely
and
not.
and this is, and we're not even talking like post Me Too. We're just talking about in terms of good film. You could not get away with making a movie like this. And I was really trying to figure out like how were we all convinced? What First of all, what was the rating on this movie? Because you picked this one. So what was the rating on this
It was
movie?
6% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It got a 6%. Now I'll be
And
the
that's
first one
three
to say
percentage points too high.
I'll be the first one to say that I don't put a lot of weight in Rotten Tomatoes. But if you got a 6, they're not wrong there. You know,
Yeah,
like
not
because
at all.
nobody disagreed with that. Everybody was kind of on board with this being just a bad movie. Um, IMDb gave it a 4.8. I want to say like the average Metacritic score was like something ridiculously.
17%.
So it's just not good. And I was really trying to
And
figure out
I'm
like
not, I went to the theater to watch this movie. So I am mad.
doubly hurt. So
Yes.
I was trying to figure out how did this movie get made? How did we get convinced that this was the movie to go and see? Because Sandra Bullock is, it's America's sweetheart. Everybody likes Sandra Bullock,
Yeah.
And I was kind of thinking about it. I was looking at some, when I look at the list of movies she had leading up to that, we had, like I mentioned, she was in A Time to Kill. She was in Demolition Man. She was in Practical Magic at this point.
Oh, it was a great movie.
She had done right. She had done so many good movies. We had 2 Week Notice, and of course, Miss Congeniality.
Yeah.
So people knew who she was. And at the same time this movie came out, we had The Proposal.
That's how I knew it was something.
So in 2009, you had The Proposal, and the exact opposite of that movie is this movie. Because The Proposal is a really good movie.
It's a great, like nonstop laughing. Yeah.
Right. Like
I-
that's from the windows to the wall. Like that's a funny movie. And I enjoy that movie.
And they have Bradley Cooper, so you're like, oh,
Right. So of course at this point you're like, oh, this will be nice. This will be a nice little rom-com. And then we get the worst representation of just a female lead in a movie. Like they have this poor girl just looking so desperate and
Yeah.
so like I felt like they didn't have to go out their way to make the character so pathetic. Like
just so aloof. Why? Why? It reminded me. It was like a bad Parker's episode because she Professor Ogilvy just so like that in a movie
yeah.
is what this is.
Yeah, and I mean it's not even a situation of unrequited love. It's just like he don't like you.
Yeah.
You went off the. And
No,
here's
we
the
don't
funny
know
part.
blind date.
So I was okay with the premise. They have this blind date. She comes down the stairs. She sees the blind date, and if she like really doesn't want to go. Her parents are trying to set her up. She comes down the stairs. She sees the blind date, and it's like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bradley Cooper's my blind date. Okay, well I'll be right back. She runs back upstairs, and when she came back, I was like,
That was the beginning. That was
Right.
setting.
because I was like, Sandra Bullock's cute, but she can't pull that off. Like, I don't know what was happening with the shirt and the bra, but I was not feeling it at all.
Yeah.
It just didn't work coming from her. And then like they start the date, they go outside, they never leave the parking lot, like where the truck is parked. And I was like, that is again just a horrible representation of this character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now mind you, she's already made a joke about like not being in a relationship, but you know, she's getting hers, and I was like, okay, female
There's
empowerment, I
so many
guess.
inappropriate, not funny jokes throughout like the whole
Right. And I was like, okay, maybe that's female empowerment. Go ahead, go girl. But no, I'm not behind that. And like they have her
thing.
in these red boots, and let's just call it what
Mhm.
they are. Them stripper boots.
Those definitely stripper boots.
She had on
This looks
these
like
stripper boots the whole
bad
movie,
leather. Yeah.
and they and wore it with everything, even if they didn't
Mhm.
match. And her reason for wearing them because it made her toes feel like 10 people in a canoe. That was the dumbest line. It like what? There's no way
Mm.
you're wearing these boots because they're comfortable. I'm married
I
22
have
years and my wife buys tons of
picture face
shoes.
in my brain.
Um, let's see. Was there anything positive about the movie? Um, she was a very, very intelligent person. And
She was.
they did a decent job of, I mean, I would throw out a spoiler alert, but at this point, this movie's too old and I'm really saving you the time and trouble.
Yes,
First of
please
all,
don't.
how she managed to find herself in the pit, like, okay, whatever. But her, like, the level of intelligence for her to create the contraption that got them out, like, they could have done so much more with this character if she was that intelligent.
Yes.
Or even if they had gone a different route to show that she has these awkward interactions because she's the smartest person in the room. Anything along those, instead of just having her look desperate and falling head over heels for this guy, like she's literally traveled across the country chasing this man who has told her already that he's not interested. And she takes one little, like, he's like, oh man, yeah, you know, if only you could travel the country with me, but you know, you can't because you work here. So, sorry.
Making crosswords.
And she's just one of those people that's like, you know, don't try to leave because I'm gonna find you. You know, and it's like
Yes.
psycho. And she's smart, so you know she could pull it off. So you kind of have to you have to go with it. The only other redeeming quality I can think is like by the end of the movie, they do kind of like you don't really root for her for through the movie. You kind of feel sorry for her the whole movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And at the end of the movie, even when they tried to like make her the hero and all these people were happy for her and they were pulling for her and they wanted to see her do well, even the newspaper was like, well, I guess we're going to have to hire her back. So like you just pity her and go give her the job back, not because she was good at her job, not because she was qualified, but just because now she's famous because of this news article. Now you feel obligated. Wow.
Well, I like that they didn't make them a couple at the end and do that whole cliche. Like he finally sees her for what she is and all the effort, and he should have gotten to know her better. Like they didn't do that. Like I appreciated that not happening.
Right. Now I did like that he was basically like saying, "Hey, clearly you can do better than me.
Yeah,
Don't change who you are because you're actually a really great person." So, you know, and
that was nice. But like most movies like that'll do that where he has that moment like this girl has been following me and I'm giving her time of day and I should yeah, don't do that. I'm glad they didn't do that.
yeah, but they could have gotten anybody else to be in this movie, and I might have liked it more. I'm
Yes.
even more upset that it was
Like
Sandra
maybe like
Bullock.
Drew Barrymore.
That would actually make it really
I,
good.
I think that would have just been
It's
yeah,
and this is not a knock against Drew Barrymore, but it needs to be somebody that I could believe would fall for this type of thing.
yeah.
She was an FBI agent just a couple of movies ago. She's the whole head of this company in the same year. And then she turns around and she's Mary Horowitz, crossword puzzle designer. You know, like even the kids were. There's a scene where she's like at career day, and I forget they give the name of what the person who creates the crossword puzzle. They have a name for it, and they talk about it in the movie. And you know, she's the person that creates the crossword puzzle, and she's talking about it, and somehow the kids end up finding out that she's at home with her parents right now. And because her place is getting fumigated, but even the little detail like that is just another knock on this character. Like basically they're trying to say she's this full grown adult that still lives at home. And it's like, no matter how many times you talk about her place being fumigated, that's not going to change that the whole point, because that room looked very, very full for someone who's just there for a short time.
Yeah, that was a.
I mean, granted, my kids will probably always have a place here. You know, one of them, he went down to Southern, he kind of moved out, and yeah, he was able to come right back and get in his bed like nothing changed. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. And maybe one day I'll redo the room to indicate it's no longer there, but it'll be a while. That was really all I could think that was any good about the movie.
Yeah.
And
it made. I don't know how much they spent to make it though, but it did $40 million at the box office. So there were plenty of people that were upset.
Yeah.
I'm
surprised, honestly, they even got that much, just because it's one of those movies that just like, how did this happen? And like I said, it's given that it was.
But now that you brought up the proposal.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were all tricked because of the movies that she had done up to that point. And it's not to say that she hasn't had any duds, or every movie's been a hit, but it's Sandra Bullock, and like she's for the most part has done pretty good. She's been rather safe, and this was one of those rare ones that just it didn't make it. The budget was actually $15 million.
They greenlit it. They edited it. Like they saw.
They took all the steps.
Somebody could have said, maybe not.
But you know, and here's the thing: even though it was a dud and it was not a good movie, I mean, they managed to get Sandra Bullock, Bradley Cooper, Thomas Hayden Church, Ken Jeong hadn't quite. He probably couldn't command quite as much at this time, but he was starting on his rise. But I mean, just between Sandra Bullock and Bradley Cooper, it seems like that would have been most of your budget, and they had a $15 million budget. So the fact that they made $40 million, they recouped, but they didn't really recoup. Like that is definitely a stain on her.
Not Sandra Bullock, Bradley Cooper box office. They did not recoup. No.
Yeah. Because I promise you, they thought they were really going to bring it in with this.
Because they trick people like me.
Yeah, there's nothing else I can say about it.
What is?
Well, that hopefully sets the tone for what you can expect. Why did I watch that? I don't know why I watched that. I don't know that I will watch it again. And even for these reviews, I'm probably only going to watch it the one time I'm required, just to kind of have it refreshed in my head, and that will be it. So, coming up next, what's the next movie we're going to do? Was Blood Rain.
Blood Rain.
Ooey boy. Ooey boy. Blood Rain. So come back and tell us what you think of that one. But again, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Follow us here. Tell us down in the comments, what movie do you want us to watch? You know, if you have an idea for a bad movie that needs to be reviewed, maybe we'll sit and roast it for 10, 15 minutes and try to find the good in it. So if it's a movie that everyone else thinks is bad and you like it, let's see if we can find the thing you liked in it. But if it's bad, and we're going to let you know. I'm Sam. That's Dunesia. We're GrownAGeeks. And this was Why Did I Watch That? Hope you enjoy it. Peace.